Good evening. I am Coach S. Planter of the Dallas Staryu, and this is our Week 9 team builder for our match against Johnny and the Oregon Duckletts. This team was formerly the Dallas Manectrics under LuckyLadTV, and it's the only team that has beat me really decisively this season so far in a 4-0 loss. I've had two other losses, but they were really close losses that could have gone another way if I made just a slightly different play at various points. But I definitely want to get revenge on this team. Not only because this team beat me so bad, but also because there are playoff implications on the line. Right now, we are at 5-3 at plus 13 differential. The Oregon Duckletts are at 6-2 at plus 12 differential. So the winner of this match right here will determine who is going to take not only the top of the division, but the top of the conference going forward. And if I can get a win here, then I can pretty much control that top seed. It'll be mine to lose, essentially, because both me and Oregon will be at 6-3, but I will have a better differential due to having an already better differential going into this. If I lose, however, then I drop to 5-4, and I'm put in a precarious situation. Because going into this week, the two teams that are at the bottom of the playoff race right now are the 4-4 -3 Sydney Crocodiles and the 4-4 -3 Chicago Flock. One of those teams will not make it into the playoffs. Now I know the Shinry Pikachu still have a long shot chance, and the Misty Trampions are technically not mathematically eliminated, although I really hope they get their first win, but they're pretty much not going to be in the playoffs most cases. So it's going to be between those two 4-4 teams, and they have a match this week. They could possibly win. They could both go to 5-4 as well, and that'll put me in that precarious position where I'm at the bottom of the playoff race, and I could possibly choke myself out to the outside. I don't want to be in that situation. So winning here not only puts me in the top seed and puts me in the driver's seat going forward, but it also secures my chances to go into the playoffs. I have a greater chance, and I can take another loss if necessary as I get the win here. So very important to get this win against this divisional rival. So let's go into the team that Oregon Duckletts has. So it's Mega Charizard Y with that Drought, partnered with Victory Bell with the Chlorophyll, very threatening combo. We have Excadrill with Tyranitar. The Sandstream with Sandrush or Sandforce Excadrill is a very threatening, potent combination that can put in a lot of work. Klefki paralyzed everything against this last match and was a real annoyance. I have to plan better for it this time. Slowbro is a new addition, and it has the potential of walling my team with that Regenerator boost, and even with Slack Off being able to recover itself while staying in. It's very, very hard to take down. Ezek is faster than everything on my team. Porygon 2, very, very bulky. Luckily, I have a Mega Blade that can 2-hit KO it no matter what it runs. We have Ezek. Sorry, we don't have him. I already said that. We have Druddigon, another very, very versatile Pokemon. Magneton is a new addition. Sock, which he got a 4-kill sweep last week. Yeah, last week. And I've already mentioned Victory Bell. So very scary team here. I have to make sure that I plan very well in order to take this team down. Like I said, they beat us 4-0 last time. So that starts with my lead, and this lead here is going to be my lead pretty much 100% of the time. And that is Bolt Manectric, running a Timid Nature, 220 speed to outspeed Mega Charizard Y, max special attack, and the rest is peppered in HP and defense. And this is running a switcheroo with Flame Orb, which is why I want to lead it. I want to lead it so I can pass that Flame Orb off, because there are only a few things that are going to switch into this. So, one, I can use this to pressure out Mega Charizard Y, Slowbro. Klefki doesn't want to take the fire move. Magneton doesn't want to take the fire move. Victory Bell doesn't want to take the fire move. Ezek might, but I'd play that by ear. And the most logical switch-ins here are going to be Tyranitar, because of the special defense boost from Sandscreen. Excadrill if it expects the Volt Switch, especially if the Sand is already up later on, obviously. Or Porygon 2 expecting to trace my Lightning Rod to get a special attack boost. Those are the most logical switch-ins here. And in any of those cases, I'm okay with burning. So Excadrill, if I burn it, it's crippled. It won't be able to do as much. The Tyranitar did a lot of work against last time. I think that he's going to bring a Dragon Dancing Lum set to try to set up on something like Chandelier or Mew to absorb that burn, set up a Dragon Dance, and go to town on me. By switcherooing, I can burn it and take its Lumberry if that's what it's running. And if he switches into Porygon 2, then I can take its Eviolite and give it a burn. It's not as good as a Toxic, but I take its Eviolite and I give it a status, which I'm all for. And very, very likely that one of those three switch into Manectric whenever it's filled. So I hope to take advantage of that. The rest are Volt Switch, Flamethrower, Hidden Power Fighting. And I'm running Hidden Power Fighting here because if he switches in Tyranitar, he sees that he's taking the burn here. He could predict like a Volt Switch or something like that. Me wanting to get out of there, essentially. And one, he could go for Pursuit, which I won't care if he burn. But two, he could go into the Excadrill to absorb that. And by going Hidden Power Fighting, not only do I do enough damage to 2-hit KO the Tyranitar, the only move I can run that will do that, but also I will do enough damage to pretty much 2-hit KO most variants, most offensive variants of the Excadrill, and I will definitely force it to go for an Earthquake rather than going for, say, a Rapid Spin or a Swords Dance or something like that to make itself a little more viable. In which case I can switch out. So that is the Bolt here, and I really hope that it finally does something. It hasn't done anything for us only 2 times he brought it, and I hope this is the match where he becomes an MVP. So next up we have Fetal Attack the Mew here. Mew is running Drain Punch, Earthquake, Heal Bell, Stealth Rocks with a special defensive nature, running careful nature, running 36 in speed so that a maximum Jolly, max speed Jolly Tyranitar doesn't outspeed me and hurt me a lot with Crunch. So that's the idea there. Drain Punch will be the way I get life back against most of his things. Earthquake, I don't think he's going to Madden Rise with Klefki on this thing because you don't really expect Earthquake that much off of Mew. It's one of those things, you know it runs it, but if it's defensive, you don't really expect it. I have Heal Bell to recover from the statuses that I expect in that Klefki. Whatever kills it and absorbs the status, I will heal it off. And I have Stealth Rocks, which will absolutely murder the Mega Charizard Y, and I want to keep it on the field as much as possible. It'll also break the Sturdy from Sock and any other Focus Sashes that he might run. So that's my Mew. Nothing special. Yeah. Next up we have Lumiere the Chandelier, running a bold, max HP, max defense, so 4 in speed so I don't get speed crept, at the no investment 80. Running Flash Fire and Air Balloon, Fire Blast, Confuse Ray, Toxic, and Will-O-Wisp. The idea for Chandelier here is to sow Chaos. Pass status around. I can scare out Klefki or Magneton. I can scare out Slowbro because it's a ghost move, Azelf, Victory Bell, and the most likely switch-ins are going to be Tyranitar or Porygon 2, or even Druddigon, depending on its set. And I hope to hit those things with a Confuse Ray so that they hit themselves in confusion, 50-50 chance each turn. And then pass around Will-O-Wisp on things like Druddigon and Tyranitar, and Toxic on things like Porygon 2. I can also switch in on Excadrill to Spin Block because I'll have the Air Balloon, and I can switch in on Mega Charizard Fly because I can absorb the Fire type attack, and the Earthquake will not do any damage due to the Air Balloon, as long as I keep the Air Balloon intact. So I hope that Chandelier here pays off. It's a little bit of a quirky set, but you know, I kind of do quirky sets, so that's cool. So now let's get into our offense, and that starts with Blitzcore, which this is not an offensive Blitzcore. This is a support to my offense here, and it's running max HP, max special defense, forward defense, Earthquake, Substitute, Rock Polish, and Baton Pass with the Landsat Berry. So I've been trying for weeks now to pass the Landsat Berry from Scolipede to Kingdra or Absol or Togus to take advantage of their abilities. Because the rules of the PMC, there's no restriction for passing speed plus focus energy, because focus energy is not a stat. But I have not been successful. I keep on mentioning it every week in my team builder, so people are starting to prepare for it. So I'm going to try to do this with Blitzcore. I'm not even bringing Scolipede this week. Do this with Blitzcore. Because the matchup that I want with Blitzcore is Blitzcore versus Slowbro. Fully expect Slowbro to come. I can also do Blitzcore versus Klefki. Both I expect to come. And I think I can set up on those. Or even versus Tyranitar with Ice Beam or something like that. He's ran it before, so. But I want to try to take, like from Slowbro, I can take a Scald or an Ice Beam from a defensive Slowbro. Set up the Rock Polish, it'll pop the Lancet. Then I can pass that to Kingdra. Or I can take a Scald from an offensive Slowbro, not an Ice Beam though. Or I can just sub down to the Lancet Berry and pass that. So those are some situations here. Really, I expect like a Slowbro switch in on this, because I mean it kind of leers in Slowbro. And I can Rock Polish on the switch in, sub down to my Lancet and pass that into Kingdra. And you know, you can predict this Baton Pass because it'll be obvious and do status move, but I'll at least be able to do some damage to hopefully Klefki. But that is my Blitzcore. I really hope that I can actually pass the focus energy with the speed, because that would be pretty awesome. But next up we have Bojack Kingdra is coming Critdra, Draco Meteor, Surf, Substitute, Focus Energy. Modest Nature, Scope Lens, 156 in speed, outspeeds the Tyranitar at Jolly max speed. The rest in HP. That's my Kingdra here. We're running the Focus Energy in case I can't pass the Lancet. I do want to have that 100% critical hit rate. We have the sub, because if I do pass the Lancet and Slowbro still in, then I can predict a switch out, because Scald is not going to break my sub. Ice Beam, if it's defensive, might not break my sub. Psychic or Psyshock should, but you know, I would kind of expect him to want to preserve that Slowbro because Regenerator is pretty wally. And the most obvious switch in is Klefki to predict the Draco Meteor. So if I sub on that, then I can be behind a sub, I won't be status, I can go for Surf and take down Klefki if it's physically defensive and do a shit ton of damage if it's specially defensive. So that's the idea here. Other than that, Draco Meteor and Surf pretty much demolishes his team. There's a couple of problems like Oregon 2 depending on the set. But I should be alright with this set here. So, yeah. That is my Kingdra. And finally we have what I hope to be the star of the show is Swords Dance Mega Late here. Running Jolly, enough speed to outspeed Mega Charizard Y, 252 in attack, rest in HP, running Drain Punch, Knockoff, Shadow Sneak, and Swords Dance. Swords Dance will allow me to one-shot a good portion of his team. And I kind of got into a little 4-move syndrome here, but you know, if I set up a Swords Dance, I have a very good shot at one-shotting a Slowbro at max HP, max defense. And if he's got the slightest of chip damage on rocks, then that's guaranteed. Otherwise, Drain Punch does a lot of damage, gets my life back if I take any damage, and that can do that against Excadrill, which I might have to take a hit from if he sets up a Sand Rush. The problem is it's not really that great against Klefki, so I'd have to try to take it down first. But I can still I can one hit KO the Porygon 2 after a Swords Dance. The Shadow Sneak, if I set up a Swords Dance, will one-shot an offensive Azelf. The Druddigon could be an issue, but with a little chip damage. Drain Punch will still do a KO, and I can recover any health I lose because of Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet, or something like that. Sock with Sturdy is obviously an issue, but that's what Stealth Rocks are for. Otherwise, this should put in a lot of work here. And it was between Shadow Sneak. Mega Charizard Y won't be one shot, unfortunately, but because I'm not running Zen Headbutt or Stone Edge or anything like that. But I should still be able to clean up with Mega Gallade at the end. That's the idea. But that's my team. Let me know in your comments what you think of my team. Go check out my opponent. He does team builders and Dallas as well. Yeah, check out his channel and all that. Subscribe. See more. Leave your comments. Please leave your comments. I've been telling people, don't just lurk, leave your comments. And we will see you for the battle. I'm Coach S. Plancer, standing out.